You are tired tonight, in a way that sleep has never quite been able to reach. It is the tiredness of loving someone so much that you have not truly rested in years. You have been the strong one for so long that no one ever thinks to ask if you are all right. Tonight, someone is asking. Long ago, a quiet man in Nazareth rose before the sun, worked with his hands until they ached, and carried the weight of a family he loved without a single word of complaint. His name was Joseph, and he understands the weariness you are holding right now. Stay with me all the way to the end, because there is one short sentence the Lord Himself speaks over the weary, and I am keeping it safe for you until your shoulders are finally ready to set everything down. For the next little while, you do not have to carry anything at all. There is nowhere you need to be, and nothing you need to fix. Over this next half hour, we will gently lay down everything your arms have been holding, one piece at a time. And we will let Saint Joseph keep watch over it, so that you can finally rest. You do not have to stay awake to protect the people you love. You are allowed to close your eyes while you listen. And somewhere before this prayer is over, the Lord is going to speak to the most worn part of you, the part you hide from everyone. Hold on for it. Notice, just for a moment, how heavy your own body feels against the bed. That heaviness is not weakness. It is the proof of how much you have given. You have spent yourself on someone, day after day, and the giving does not stop when the lights go out. The worry simply changes shape. By day, it wears the face of tasks and lists and the 1,000 small fears you manage before anyone else wakes. By night, it becomes a low hum that will not switch off. You lie down, and your mind begins its second shift. Do you know the hour I am speaking of? It is the one that comes long after midnight, when the house is silent, and you are suddenly wide awake with your heart pounding for no reason you can name. You reach for your phone in the dark and check it, even though you know there is nothing there. You listen for a sound down the hall that may never come. You replay a conversation from this afternoon and wonder if you said the wrong thing. You count the ways you may have already failed the people who depend on you. And in the morning, you will rise anyway and pour the cereal and find the missing shoe and smile, and no one will ever know what the night cost you. This is the secret labor of a parent who loves. It has no wages and no applause, and most nights it has no witness. There is a particular ache that comes when you snap at the very people you would die for. You hear the sharp tone in your own voice, and you hate it, and you promise yourself you will be gentler tomorrow. But gentleness is hard to find at the bottom of an empty tank. And then there is the quiet comparison, the one that visits you when you scroll past another family who seems to have it all together. They look rested. They look like they are managing. You wonder what is wrong with you that you are not. So let me say this plainly into the dark, because you may not have heard it in a long time. Nothing is wrong with you. You are not failing. You are simply carrying something heavy for a long time with very little help. And that would make anyone tired. You are not built to be on call every hour of every day without ever being relieved. Even the strongest among us were made to be poured into, not only poured out. So before you ask yourself to be stronger tomorrow, let yourself be filled tonight. Do not try to fix any of it tonight. Only listen, because there is a witness after all, and he is closer than you think. Have you ever wondered whether anyone in heaven truly knows what this kind of tiredness feels like? There was a man who did. Before he was ever called the saint, Joseph was a craftsman, a worker in wood and stone, and his days were long. He did not raise the Son of God in a palace with servants to lighten the load. He raised him in a small town, with calloused hands and an aching back, providing bread by the sweat of his own labor. He knew what it was to be bone-tired and to rise anyway because someone he loved was depending on him. The mornings were cold before the fire caught. The wood gave him splinters, and the same work waited for him the next day and the day after that. Yet he kept at it, year after hidden year, asking for no reward beyond the safety of the ones he loved. The church remembers him as Joseph Most Strong, and his strength was never loud. It was the quiet, daily kind, the kind that shows up before dawn, the kind you have been living without anyone noticing. Here is something about Joseph that very few people stop to notice. In all the pages of the Gospels, he is never once recorded speaking a single word. Not one. He simply listens and rises and does what love requires, again and again, in silence. Does that sound familiar to you? The faithfulness that keeps no record of itself. The love that does not announce what it costs. The long, wordless work of showing up. That is the work you have been doing, and Joseph is its patron. He is the guardian of every parent whose greatest acts of love will never be written down anywhere, except in the heart of God, who misses nothing. When you whisper into the dark, "I cannot do this anymore," who do you imagine hears you? You are in the company of someone who finishes that sentence before you speak it. When you say, "I am so tired," Joseph does not flinch. He simply nods, because he carried that same tiredness up the same long hill of love. And here is the gentle turning of it. Joseph did not carry his weariness alone, and he is not asking you to carry yours alone either. He leaned the whole weight of his small family against a Father in heaven who never grew tired and never looked away. Tonight, he wants to teach you to lean the very same way. Place your hand over your heart, just for a moment, and feel it still beating after everything it has carried. That faithful heart of yours was never meant to be the only thing holding your family together. There is a promise in the writings of the prophet Isaiah, in Isaiah chapter 40, and it was written for people exactly as tired as you are tonight. It says, "He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength." Listen to who that promise is for. Not the strong, not the ones who have it all together. It is for the faint, and for those who have no might left at all. That is you tonight, and that is exactly the person the Lord draws near to. The passage goes on, "Even the youths shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." Did you hear the order of it? First the eagle, soaring high, then the runner, and last, almost as an afterthought, the simple walking that does not faint. Most of us beg for the wings. We want to feel lifted, carried, swept up above the worry. But the deepest mercy hides in that last line, the promise that you will be able to keep walking. That tomorrow you will put your feet on the floor and do the ordinary, unglamorous work of loving your family again, and you will not faint while you do it. Strength to keep walking is the strength a parent actually needs, and it is the very strength being offered to you right now. But notice the one small word the whole promise turns on. They that wait upon the Lord. For a tired heart, waiting can sound like the cruelest word of all. You have been waiting so long already. Waiting for the worry to ease, for the season to change, for the child to be all right. Yet the waiting that renews strength is not the anxious kind, the kind that paces the floor and watches the clock. It is the kind that leans. It is what a child does when she finally goes limp in her father's arms, no longer holding herself up, trusting the one who carries her. You knew how to do that once, long before you became the one everyone else leans on. Your body still remembers it, even if your mind has forgotten. Tonight, that is the only thing being asked of you. Not to strive, not to solve, only to lean and let yourself be held while your strength is quietly renewed. Now, while your body is still and your heart is listening, let us begin to set things down. We will not do it all at once. We will do it the way Joseph worked, one careful piece at a time. Bring to mind the child you love. Do not bring the worry yet, just bring the face. See them as they were when they were small enough to fall asleep on your chest, before you knew how many nights you would lie awake for them. And now, gently, into the hands of Saint Joseph, entrust them. Saint Joseph, guardian who once watched over a child the whole world was waiting for, I place this child into your keeping tonight. You who rose in the dark to provide and protect, watch over the one I love while I rest. I have carried them as far as my own strength can reach. Carry them the rest of the way. Breathe out slowly and let your shoulders fall away from your ears. There is something you almost never do, and we are going to do it now. We are going to pray for you. Not for your child first this time, for you, for the tired one, for the one who gives and quietly wonders who is holding them up. Saint Joseph, mirror of patience, you know the years that pass with no thanks, the work that no one sees, the love that asks everything and promises nothing in return. Be near this weary parent now. Steady the hands that have held so much. Quiet the mind that will not rest. And remind this heart that it is not the source of the family's strength. It is only a vessel, and the one who fills it never runs dry. Let me ask you something, here in the middle of the quiet. When was the last time you let yourself be the one who is cared for, instead of the one who does the caring? For many of you, the honest answer is that you cannot remember. Somewhere along the way, you decided that your needs would have to wait, and the waiting slowly became a way of life. But there is a single line in the Psalms, in the 116th Psalm, that is almost too tender to read aloud. It says, "Return unto thy rest, O my soul, for the Lord hath dealt bountifully with thee." Return unto thy rest. As if rest were a home you once knew and wandered away from. As if the door were still open, the light still on, waiting for you to come back. Tonight, you are being invited home to your own rest. Not because the work is finished, it is never finished, but because the Lord has dealt bountifully with you, and you are allowed to stop striving long enough to notice it. Right now, in this room, with the world dark outside, nothing at all is being required of you. I know that feels almost impossible to believe. You have spent so long being indispensable that resting feels like falling. So let me tell you the truest thing I can say to a tired parent. You were never meant to be enough. Hear that gently, because it is good news. You were never designed to be the unshakable foundation of another person's whole life. That was always too much weight for any human heart to bear. There is only one who can be that, and he has never once asked you to take his place. When the Apostle Paul was at the very end of his own strength in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, the Lord said to him, "My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness." Do you hear the strange mercy of it? His strength is not made perfect in your strength. It is made perfect in your weakness. Which means this very exhaustion you are ashamed of tonight is not the place where God leaves you. It is the place where He arrives. There is a difference, though, between rest and collapse, and your tired heart needs to know it. Collapse is what happens when you run until you simply cannot run anymore, and you fall down, emptied out, with nothing left to give. You have known that kind of falling. But rest is something else entirely. Rest is laying the weight down on purpose into hands that can hold it before you reach the edge. It is not the absence of love or labor. It is love that has learned to trust. Joseph rested that way every single night. He laid down his tools, and he laid down his fear, and he slept, because he had handed the things he could not control to a God who does not sleep. Tonight, you get to learn the same holy habit. So stop for one moment trying to be the strong one. Let yourself be weak in the presence of a God who is not embarrassed by your weakness. Let your grip loosen. Let the worry you have been clenching since this morning slip, finger by finger, out of your hand. You do not have to hold the whole night up. The night is already being held. Saint Joseph, solace of the afflicted, comfort of all who are worn down by love, draw close to this household now, to the parent who cannot rest, to the child who needs more than any parent can give, to the rooms that have held so much worry and so many silent prayers. Cover this home with the same quiet care you once gave to a small house in Nazareth, where a tired man laid down his tools at the end of the day and trusted God with everything he could not control. And there are some of you carrying this alone. No second set of hands when the night gets long. No one to trade the watch with. No one to tell you that you did well today. If that is you, hear this gently. Joseph knows what it is to stand between a child and the whole weight of the world. And the God he trusted is not far off from the single, the widowed, the abandoned, and the worn. He draws nearest of all to the ones who have no one else to lean on. So lean on him now, fully, the way you have not let yourself lean on anyone in a very long time. The God Joseph trusted has always kept the closest watch over the ones the world overlooks. He has not overlooked you. And to the one who lies here certain they are failing, who measures every day by what they did not get to, let this be enough for tonight. You showed up. You loved. You stayed. In the ledger of heaven, that is not failure. That is faithfulness. Now, stay very still, because here is the sentence I promised you at the very beginning. All night you have been carrying this prayer, with one ear quietly waiting, wondering what word the Lord could possibly have for someone as worn out as you. These are His own words, spoken with His own voice, recorded in the Gospel of Matthew, in Matthew chapter 11. He says, Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Come unto me. Not fix yourself first, not try harder, not wait until you are stronger. Come, exactly as you are tonight, heavy laden, with the weight still on your back, and I will give you rest. And he does not stop there. He says, Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. A yoke is the wooden beam that was laid across the shoulders of two oxen, so they could pull a heavy load together, side by side. And that is the whole secret hidden inside this promise. The Lord is not offering to take your burden away and leave you with nothing to love. He is offering to step into the yoke beside you, to put his own shoulder under the same weight, so that what once nearly broke you becomes something the two of you carry together. You have been pulling alone for so long that you forgot the yoke had a second place in it. Tonight, that place is filled. The God who flung the stars into the dark and keeps every one of them burning has quietly slipped in beside you, under the very load you were sure would crush you. And he is pulling. He has been pulling all along, even on the nights you felt most alone. Every step you thought you took by yourself, he was matching, stride for stride, in the dark beside you. Say your child's name now, softly, somewhere inside your chest. And as you say it, hear this. The weight of that name was never yours to carry by yourself. There is a moment in the book of Exodus, in Exodus chapter 14, when a whole people stood trapped at the edge of the sea, with the enemy thundering behind them and nowhere left to run. They were terrified and exhausted, certain they would have to fight a battle they could not possibly win. And into that panic came a single command. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. Hold your peace. Stop striving. Be still. There are battles for your family that you were never meant to win by force of will. And there are nights, like this one, when the holiest thing you can do is to lay down your weapons and let the Lord fight while you finally sleep. The protecting you do is real and good, but it was always meant to rest inside a greater protection. The way Joseph's watchful care over his own family rested inside the care of God. Let your breathing slow now, and feel how the room has softened around you. The worry has not vanished, it rarely does, but its grip on you is looser than it was when this prayer began. And there is one more kindness I want to leave in your hands before sleep takes you, a promise for the morning that is coming. It is found in the letter to the Galatians, in Galatians chapter 6. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. In due season we shall reap. Every prayer you have ever whispered over your child in the dark is a seed planted in soil you cannot see. You may not watch it break the surface tomorrow, or next year, or for many years to come. But seeds planted in love and watered with tears are never wasted and never lost. The God who keeps the seasons turning has not forgotten a single one of them, and neither the labor of your hands nor the longing of your heart will return to you empty. So tonight, do not measure the harvest, just rest in the planting. Let us gather all of it now into one final blessing, and then you may let go. Lord, you see this tired parent more clearly than they see themselves. You have counted every sleepless hour and treasured every silent prayer. Tonight, give rest to the body that has carried so much, peace to the mind that will not stop, and quiet assurance to the heart that loves so deeply it forgets to rest. Bless the child who is loved beneath this roof, and the children who are far away tonight. Keep them, guard them, and go ahead of them into every tomorrow this parent cannot see. Where this parent has run out of strength, be their strength. Where they have run out of words, let their silence be a prayer that you understand perfectly. Saint Joseph, faithful guardian, keep watch over this home through the long hours of the night, so that the one who has watched over everyone else may at last close their eyes in peace. Breathe in slowly, and then let it all the way out. The door is locked. The lights are low. The ones you love are held in stronger hands than yours. And for the first time in longer than you can remember, you are now to be the one who is carried. You do not have to be enough tonight. You only have to rest. The God who never sleeps is keeping watch. Saint Joseph is standing guard at the door, and the weight you carried into this room is no longer yours to hold alone. May the peace of the Lord, which is greater than all your fear and deeper than all your tiredness, settle over you now and stay through the night. Sleep, dear one. You are safe. You are held. You can let go. If this prayer met you where you are tonight, whisper a quiet Amen. And if you have the strength, leave the name of the child you are praying for in the comments so that we may carry them with you. And whenever the tiredness returns, and it will, come back here and we will set it down together again. Rest now. Amen.